So I am going to be draining the oil out of this LS that I got the other week. Boom. So what I'll do now is I'll just get an oil drip tray and then we'll empty the oil and see what it looks like. Well, let's just have a quick look in the dipstick. Oh bro, look at that, that is black. So safe to say that hasn't had an oil change in a minute. Just undone the sump plug. The oil's not looking too flash, but unless it has some oil in it, I guess. This oil filter is way too tight. You do not need to tighten oil filters up that hard. I've been using these and look, it's just... So anyway, it's still draining. I'll get onto that after I have pulled the loom off. I pulled the belt off. So now I'm just gonna pull all the electrical stuff off it and then we'll get the coil packs off the engine. And then we can start getting right into it and stripping it down. So just get some tools together and get into it. Loom and the power steer line's off now, so we'll just put this outside because it's dirty. So now I'm going to pull all the coil packs off, so we'll just start with all electrical stuff. Then you just work your way down the engine. Oh, it's missing 3 coil leads, so it's not a drama though. So rocker covers are off, everything looks good in there. So both sides looks good. We'll be replacing these valve springs with the nitrated beehive valve springs from Calford cams, because it will be running a B12 Calford cam in it, so they're good. Be running factory trunnions and factory bolts because it's not going to be running boost or anything. It should be fine. So now we'll just pull this inlet manifold off and then we'll work our way down the front of the engine, I think. But no, very happy. The motor actually looks in good condition regardless of that oil.
Never ever quit. Never quit. I don't know if it's an ability or if you have it, just you can't quit.
If you want to give up, you can give up. This is your choice. You can do whatever you want. Your time's gonna come. But you cannot give up.
I've seen people quitting, and if they would have held out longer, they would have been successful. I've seen it so much.
The biggest mistake a person can do right now, no matter in which situation you are, is to give up.
So just pulled all the accessories off it. I'll be pulling the crank pulley off. So we'll be stripping it down to clean it. As you can see, it's quite dirty and it did have some oil leaks. This is a front sump. So for the RX8 conversion, you need a rear sump. Luckily, I'm building a burnout car at the moment. So make sure you follow the channel because this next burnout car is out the gate. But anyway, it come with a rear sump. So I bought it off a dude that was gonna build a tubular drag car and put the engine and stuff in it, but he ended up losing interest. So I bought the whole package. That's for another video. But here's the rear sump. So that's a VE rear sump. I have the baffle and everything. I'll have to go grab that. But for now, we're just gonna be stripping this down. So now I'll be pulling this front crank pulley off. I will pull the timing cover off. Obviously get this oil filter out, pull the sump off, and then we can start giving it a good clean up. I'll do the rear main as well while we're here, because there's no point if we put the car together then the rear main leaks. Pull the starter motor, but all in all, very happy with this engine, so can't get any happier really for the deal I got it for. But as you can see, it's got a little bit of grime in there, but we'll clean it with citrus, engine degreaser, all that, give it a good wash off and then start reassembling it. But man, Like this only took me about, I don't know, half an hour to pull it down. So LSs are super easy to work with. All you need is this. That's how I pulled the whole motor down. So you need a 13 and 15 mainly, and occasionally a 14. But we'll carry on, spin the motor around, get the sump off.
Oops.
So we'll just undo that, pull the sump. I tried having a go at getting the crank pulley off, but that bolt's a bit tight. So what we're going to do is, once the sump's off, we'll jam a piece of wood down into against the crank, and then it will hold it, because at the moment just spinning when I put a power bar on there. And we'll also pull the timing cover off. So far, man, it doesn't take long to strip one of these engines, eh? We'll pull the engine mounts off, because these engine mounts aren't going back on it anyway. It's got custom engine mounts, but yeah, the plug's in for now. Pull the starter motor off, so all easy to access from underneath. Pretty straightforward job, really. So I see why it's been leaking so much oil. Check that out, it's cracked.
No, God!
Obviously in between moving it, or maybe the guy done it when removing it, it's cracked the sump. So this sump's useless, but like I was saying, we don't need this sump. We're going rear sump anyway, so yeah, that's a shame, because these sumps are actually good sumps. I would have reused this, but oh well, shit happens. Just going to put a piece of wood in here against the crank so we can get this front bolt out for this crank pulley. Got it. I was going to put the camshaft, a new camshaft in it once the motor's all cleaned up with the heads on, but the more I've been thinking about it, I wouldn't mind checking the lifters and what's a couple of head gaskets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the heads off now, and I have to pull the back cover off here. So I'll pull the camshaft and everything out. Even though you can do it in place, you just spin the motor around so the lifters sit in the trays. But yeah, like I'm saying, what's a couple head gaskets. So what I'll do now is I'll just rip the heads off, pull the engine mounts off. So yeah, we'll carry on for a little bit. So got all the lifters out. Just going to pull the camshaft out now. So everyone likes to see the camshaft being pulled out, don't they? So it should just come straight out. There we go. Bearings all feel good. So one camshaft. Oh, camshaft. So this camshaft's obviously standard, and that means it's rubbish. So safe to say, probably got a little bit carried away on this engine. It was meant to just be a cam swap heads on, but because we have to swap the valve springs over, it just makes a lot more sense to do it on the workbench instead of trying to keep the lifters up in that, putting the camshaft in and all. But the motor looks like it's in good condition, so pistons look good. It's just dirty, eh? So pretty stoked. Yep, so it's going to be a big cleanup job though, so we'll clean the shop up, and then the next video will be just pretty much giving it a good degrease in that, just giving it a good washout, cleaning it. The new camshaft will be going in, and then we can start, yeah, pretty much reassembling it with all its new goodies. So that's pretty much the end of this video, I think. I'll put these lifters into a bag. All the lifters are in good condition, so I'll be reusing these. And pretty much be reusing everything, just cleaning up. Obviously change all the gaskets, but pretty stoked though, so